Some stories begin with one dream. This one begins with three. Three strangers. Three different lives. Three musicians who had no idea they were about to build one of the most beloved names in electronic music. Today millions know them as Above and Beyond. But long before the sold-out arenas, the emotional festival moments, and one of the most loyal fan communities in the world, they were simply three young men searching for something bigger than success. This is the untold story of Above and Beyond. London, England, the late 1990s. Electronic music is changing fast. Trance is beginning to explode. Record labels are searching for the next big sound. Somewhere in the city, two university students, Jono and Paavo Siljamäki, meet through music. They spend hours talking about melodies, production, and the feeling that only music can create. Soon another producer joins them, Tony McGuinness. Unlike the others, Tony already works inside the music industry. He understands how labels operate, how songs are promoted, and how artists become successful. But something is still missing. They don't want to create ordinary dance music. They want to create music people will remember for the rest of their lives. The three begin working together. Small studios, long nights, tiny budgets, endless experimentation. Nobody knows their names. Nobody expects anything special. Then an unexpected opportunity changes everything. In 2001, they deliver a remix. Not for just anyone, for Madonna. Their version of what it feels like for a girl gets noticed across the industry. Suddenly people start asking, who are Above and Beyond? Where did they come from? The answer is simple. Years of invisible work. Thousands of hours spent chasing the perfect melody. The success looked sudden. It wasn't. It almost never is. Soon, their original music begins reaching listeners all over the world. But the biggest chapter of their story hasn't even begun, because they aren't just building a music career. They're about to build something far more powerful, a family. As Above and Beyond grew bigger, something unusual happened. Fans weren't just listening to their music, they were living it. While many artists focused on louder drops and bigger stages, Above and Beyond chose emotion, hope, connection. Their songs didn't just fill dance floors. They helped people through heartbreak, loss, depression, love, and moments they would never forget. Then they made a decision that would quietly reshape part of electronic music. They created Anjunabeats. It started in 2000 simply as a label for their own music, but it quickly became something much larger, a home for artists who believed that melodies could be just as powerful as drops. New names began appearing. Artists who would later become global stars found their first platform there. Then came another chapter, Anjunadeep, a deeper, more emotional sound. Music for sunsets, long drives, and quiet moments. Music that didn't need to be loud to be unforgettable. Around the world, the Anjuna family kept growing. Not just fans, a real community. People who had never met, yet instantly understood one another through the music. Then came the live shows. Something special started happening. Instead of speaking into the microphone, the trio typed messages onto giant screens above the crowd. Simple words, powerful words, sometimes funny, sometimes heartbreaking, sometimes exactly what someone in the audience needed to hear that night. Those messages became legendary. Screenshots spread across the internet. Fans remembered not only the music, but how Above and Beyond made them feel. Albums followed that defined a generation. Tri-State, Group Therapy in 2011, We Are All We Need, common ground. Each one proved the same thing. Electronic music could make people dance, but it could also make them cry. And perhaps that was Above and Beyond's greatest achievement. They didn't just build one of the biggest names in trance. They built a place where millions of people felt they belonged. And the most emotional chapter was still ahead. As the years passed, Above and Beyond became something few artists ever achieve. They became more than musicians. They became a feeling. Their concerts were different. People didn't come only to dance. They came to reconnect with themselves, with old memories, and with the strangers standing beside them. Every show felt less like a festival and more like a gathering of thousands who understood one another without saying a word. That is something statistics can never measure. Millions of streams, sold-out arenas, award nominations, they all matter. But they don't fully explain why Above and Beyond means so much to so many people. The answer is simpler. Authenticity. For more than 2 decades, Jono, Paavo, Siljamäki, and Tony McGuinness never chased what was popular. They chased what was honest. When electronic music became louder, they stayed emotional. When trends changed, they stayed true to their identity. When the industry moved faster and faster, they remembered why they started making music in the first place. And that decision made all the difference. Today, Anjunabeats and Anjunadeep are more than record labels. They are homes for artists who believe music should tell stories, who believe emotion will always outlive fashion. Looking back, it's almost hard to believe how everything began. 3 people, 1 small studio, no guarantees, no shortcuts. Only an idea that music could bring people together. And somehow that idea grew into one of the most respected communities in electronic music. Somewhere right now, 3 friends are making music in a bedroom, wondering if anyone will ever hear it. Above and Beyond were once those 3 friends. The difference is that they never stopped believing in each other. And because of that, they didn't just create great songs. They created a place where millions of people found hope. This isn't just the story of Above and Beyond. It's the story of friendship, trust, and the extraordinary things that can happen when people choose connection over competition. Because in the end, the greatest legacy isn't measured by how many records you sell. It's measured by how many lives you quietly change.